When Jesus was a little boy, Jesus did many wonderful things. Jesus made blind men see. He made crooked legs straight. Yes, Jesus did many wonderful things. Jesus was God's own son. Have you ever wondered what Jesus was like when he first came to earth? Jesus was once a tiny baby. Jesus was once a little child. What was little Jesus like? Long, long ago, Jesus came into our world. Jesus was born in a stable barn. Cows had to scoot over to make room for the little baby Jesus. Woolly lambs lay down right next to his soft straw bed. As time went by, Jesus grew bigger and bigger. Later, little Jesus moved to Nazareth with his family, Joseph and Mary. Bang, bang. Joseph often hammered wood in his carpenter shop. Little Jesus probably helped Joseph by carrying the wood. "What are you making?" little Jesus could have asked as he watched Joseph hammer nails into the wood. "I am making a table," said Joseph. "I am making a big table." Little Jesus helped Joseph until the table was all finished. Then little Jesus had time to run and play. "First, I will sweep the floor," said little Jesus. "Then I will play." Swish, swish, little Jesus swept the floor. He was a very helpful boy. He helped Mary too. Joseph and Mary were glad to have little Jesus as their helper. Jesus grew and grew. Soon he was 12 years old. Joseph and Mary had a surprise for their 12-year-old son. "We are going on a trip," said Joseph and Mary. "We are going to visit the temple. We are going to visit God's special house." Jesus was excited. He helped Joseph and Mary pack for the trip. Joseph and Mary loaded their donkeys with food and special gifts. Cloop, cloop. The donkey followed Joseph and Mary and Jesus down the road. "Look," cried Jesus after they had walked a long time. "I can see the temple." Everyone hurried toward the temple. The donkeys waited as fathers and mothers and boys and girls hurried up the temple steps. Oh, how Jesus loved the temple. It was God's special house. There were wide doors and cool rooms. There were very wise teachers in the temple too. The wise teachers were kind and friendly. All too soon it was time to go home. Joseph and Mary walked out to their donkeys to begin their long journey home. Suddenly Joseph stopped. He looked around. "Where is Jesus?" cried Joseph. Joseph asked everyone, and he looked everywhere, but he could not find Jesus. "We must go back to the temple," said Joseph. "We must find Jesus." Quickly, Joseph and Mary ran back to the temple. They walked up the steps. Tap, tap. Joseph and Mary walked into one of the big, wide rooms. There was Jesus. Jesus was talking to the wise teachers. The wise teachers were listening to Jesus. "Tell us more about God," said the wise teachers to Jesus. "We want to know more." Jesus told them about God, his Father. Jesus' eyes were shining with happiness. "Jesus!" cried Joseph and Mary. "We must go home. It is time for us to leave." Oh, how much Jesus wanted to stay in the temple. He wanted to talk about God. Jesus was God's own son. Yet Jesus obeyed. Jesus also belonged to Joseph and Mary's family. Jesus obeyed Joseph and Mary. Jesus went home with Joseph and Mary, and it was the right thing for Jesus to do. It wasn't long before Jesus grew up and he became a man. He told many people about God. Jesus made blind men see. He made sick little boys and girls well again. Then one day, Jesus died on the cross for our sins. Jesus is very wonderful. Yet there is something we must not forget. Jesus was once a helpful, obedient little child. You too should be helpful and always obey. Jesus will help you, and he understands because he was once a little child just like you. Jesus was God's own. Where was Jesus born? Every day Jesus grew. Later, Joseph, Mary, and Jesus moved to. Did Jesus help Joseph in the carpenter shop? Did Jesus help Mary too? Where did Jesus and his family go when Jesus was 12 years old? Did Jesus like the temple? Where was Jesus when Joseph and Mary came looking for him? Was Jesus a helpful and obedient child?